What's up, guys? I'm gonna show you how to make a cool channel icon for your YouTube channel. Um, Using Adobe Photoshop, I have CS3, and this is basically what you're going to get. It might be a little bit different depending on how the twirl comes out to be, but this is the basics of what it's gonna look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this and start a new project. I'm gonna name it tutorial, and we're going to start with a blank background. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our paint bucket tool. If you don't know how to do that, the granite tool, it's just like this. You just hold it and hit paint bucket, and we're going to put a black background. You can go to swatches and you have pre-made colors if you're new to Adobe Photoshop. Now we're going to take our text tool, which is right here, and we're going to make a little text box. Right here is where you're going to put your channel information. For this example, I'm going to use, nope, you want to select the white first, then you're going to, I always make this mistake, hit white, then start typing. For this example, I'm going to use Mute Gamer, and did I spell that right? Yeah. And you can select any font you want. I like the Sonic Cut Through HVBT because it looks good. You can even download fonts, whatever you really want to do. So I'm going to select our layer, right click it, and rasterize type, and then hit Control T, select it, and then we can make it a little bit bigger if you want, but I don't really do that. Now, what you're going to do here is you can make this like to the edges if you want, but I don't really like doing that. I like putting it sort of in the middle, and then we can hit enter on that. And then once we have the text layer selected, down here we can hit FX, outer glow, and you can select any color you want here, but for this purpose I'm going to use puke green-ish, something right about here. And then we're going to take our spread and put our spread all the way up, so it looks like it has an outline. Now we can hit OK, and this is going to be the hard part. It's not really that hard, it's just little effects that you have to use. We're going to go to filter, then we're going to go to sort, then polar coordinates, then hit polar to rectangle and hit OK. It's going to make it all funky. Don't worry about it. So we're going to go to filter, stylize, wind, from the right, hit OK. Now, if you want to make it even more like exaggerated, you'll see what I mean in a minute. You can hit Control F, and we'll do that again, or we can hit it the third time, which I don't really like the third time, or the really second time. So I'm going to hit Control Alt Z and go step backwards. So I'm going to go to filter again, stylize, and wind again, then go from the left, and then hit OK, so it's going to look like that. Then we're going to back up to filter one last time, and go to the sort, polar coordinates again, and rectangular to polar, and it's going to make it back to normal. Now, what I was saying about the Control F was these like green lines, whatever your outer glow color was, you can like put them down a little bit, and they'll go like down, and maybe even for full circle if you do go enough times. But one's enough for me. It makes it really good looking, and you can still read the text. Now here comes the tricky part. But first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna adjustments, bring it to contrast, and bring it down a little bit. It doesn't really make a difference because you can't see anything. But I just like doing this because you can use any color you want for the text. I use white just for this tutorial sakes, but you can use any color here you want. This on the swatches or even just on the color tab. Make any color you want, but white's pretty good, and it's readable. It stands out. Now we're gonna select maybe red. Okay, bright red. We're going to select our paintbrush tool, which is right here, brush tool. And we're going to take, and we're just going to pretty much, no, I'm still on here. First, we're going to make a new layer, which is right here by the trash can, new layer. And then we're going to do this, because we don't want that outer glow on it. And we're just going to fill this up a little bit. And a little bit more. Then we're going to go to filter, then sort, then wave. Now, you can change around with these settings, mainly the scale, I guess. The higher you go with the scale, bottom one, the more wavy it gets. And you can always just mess around with this. I don't usually mess around with it, but I mean, you can if you want to. Wavelength. It's basically how wavy you want it. You want this to be up, that to be down, make it a good looking number of generators, and you can make it really however you want. Um, but I'm gonna share something new and just use this and hit OK. That looks pretty good. It matches around with the text. Now, what we're gonna do is we're going to take our make a new layer for this, because if everything that you know you might mess up on, you make a new layer for. And we're gonna take our eyedropper tool, which is right here, eyedropper, and we're gonna select one of the puke green, or you can select any color you want. I just use the same color as the outer glow because it makes a nicer blending. We'll select our paintbrush tool, and we're gonna just pretty much do this. You can follow along with me. Now we're gonna go to filter, distort, and twirl. Now I'm gonna zoom out a little bit just to see what it's gonna look like, and you can mess around with this thing right here and see the preview of what it's gonna look like. But that looks pretty good right there. And then we're going to right click that layer, or we can't even do that, so we're just going to Control T, and we're going to rotate it, and we're just going to move it to like right here. Yeah, that's good. And depending on how you make the two strokes of brushes, it's going to twirl a different way every time, so don't worry if it's not exactly like my other one. Okay, now you can put whatever you want inside this little bubble, but I like the GameCube, so I found a picture of a GameCube controller, nice one too. I just went on Google Images and typed in GameCube controller, and this one's right here, first page, first row, all the way on the right. So I'm gonna right click it, copy image, go in Photoshop, and make a new, so hit enter first, then make a new layer, then hit Control V, and then take our magic wand tool, which is right here, magic wand, and select all the white, and then select the white in the middle of that. And now we're just sort of left with the GameCube. Now we can hit Control T. Nope. Let's select that. We can hit Control T, and we'll select the GameCube controller itself, and we can just move that all around. You don't have to make the new layer; it automatically makes it. But I like making it just for easier sakes. Then we can just like rotate this around, shrink it down. Anything you really want, just make it unique how you would like it. Or if you maybe you don't want to put an image in there, so just for my sakes, I'm gonna save this real fast because I like this right now how it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit enter first. File, save as, desktop, and then mutated game. I'm gonna use this for my Skype actually because I like Skype. And we can save it as a JPEG. Where's JPEG? JPEG right here. Hit save and hit OK, and now it's saved. But if you don't want to do that, then you can just delete this. Whoops, delete this. Delete this layer. That's what I was trying to say. Hit enter and delete it, and now that's gone. Now, what you can do is you can take your text tool and put any color you want. I'm going to use, again, white. Now, let's say your videos are just like tutorials, like kind of like what I make. Okay, we're gonna put tutorials. I don't know if I spelled that wrong. I have bad spelling. And then we're just gonna select that, right click it, rasterize a type, and then hit Control T, and move that into here, rotate it, and there we go. Hit enter, and now we can mess around with effects, outer glow if we want it even, and we can make it like golden, or we can change it to maybe a red. And opacity, you can put the opacity up so it's like brighter. Of course, you can change the color, anything you really want. Anything goes in here. Opacity you can turn down, blah, 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 blah. So you basically get it. Size, I wouldn't really mess around with that. Just leave it sort of right there. Then we can hit OK, and that's basically how to make a good YouTube channel icon in Photoshop. It's not that complicated even. It's very easy. It's very simple. I learned this in a day. I am not even kidding. I just got Photoshop a few days ago, and I just learned how to do this. My friend was teaching me some basic stuff in here, so I was fooling around with the effects, and I came up with this. So I decided to make a tutorial because it looked pretty cool. Now, as I said, you can put anything in here, and it might not come out to look. The twist might not come out to look exactly like that. No, close that. That was a piece of shit. It might come out to look like that, and then you could be unique with it. Okay, you don't have to follow this tutorial to the T. This is just the basics of how you want to follow it. Anyway, Mutated Gamer. See you next time on a new tutorial or let's play. Bye.